of St. Anselm College look to keep pace in the NE10. Today they take on the Yellow Jackets of American International College. Rich Bocchini alongside Seth Hellman. Big matchup here today. The Hawks looking for their fourth consecutive win. Meanwhile, the Yellow Jackets winless coming into this game, Seth.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a difficult season for AIC, but today is really going to be a battle of the defenses. Neither one of these teams is averaging more than 3 scores a game, so it'll be interesting to see which offense can take advantage of a strong defense on the other side.
Big game today. We're going to take a look at some of the players to keep an eye on the other side of this timeout. Stay with us. Flow Sports, NE10 football, back in a moment. Getting set for the opening kickoff here today in Manchester, New Hampshire. Happy to have you along. American International, 0-5 on the season, 0-3 in the NE10. St. Anselm, 4-2 overall, 3-1 in conference play. Coming off a big 21-0 win a week ago over Franklin Pierce. Let's take a look at some of the players we're going to be keeping an eye. And we start with the visiting team. Let's take a look. Nevin Earl, defensive lineman, 19 tackles, 3 sacks on the season. Somebody to be careful of.
Yeah, and he's the team leader in sacks for this AIC defense. If you look at St. A's in the one, what I'm going to call actual loss, because the other loss was against Merrimack, a D1 program. If you look at their one loss in the NE10, Drew Faulkner got sacked 6 times in that loss. In the 3 wins, it was 2 sacks, 2 sacks, and 3 sacks. So if Nevin Earl can wreak some havoc on the end of that defensive line and get to Drew Faulkner, it's going to be a long day for the St. A's offense, and his ability to get into the backfield could be key for AIC's chances to pick up win number 1 this year.
And speaking of St. A's, we look at wide receiver Domingo Reed. 3 times now, NE10 Rookie of the Week. Pretty good start to his career.
Yeah, I mean, he's averaging 70 yards a game in his 3 games that he's played so far, and, you know, what's the best way to kind of try to get around some of those sack issues, right? Having someone explosive in the wide receiver position who can get open quickly and run routes properly. So it'll be an interesting thing to watch today to see if the secondary really keys in on him. And so can he beat double teams will be the question. But then the other question will be, can he continue to draw those double teams if he's not a factor and get somebody else open? You see it there, 10 receptions for 207 yards. So we're not talking little dinky passes here. He's getting open downfield and getting those big chunk plays, which is huge for a team that needs to find a way to get down the field quickly to score.
Take a look at the standings, and as we talked about, St. A's looking to keep pace here today, 3-1 in the conference. Assumption just ahead of them. Assumption has the bye this week. Bentley has the bye this week. They're 3-1. Assumption is in action today, so pretty tight. Franklin Pierce in the mix as well as far as the conference standings go. But a big game here today, and despite playing a team that's 0-5, you can't take them lightly.
No, absolutely cannot take any team in any NE10 sport lightly. It is way too competitive of a conference regardless of what you're playing in. And football, right, we have the line any given Sunday. Well, it's Saturday, but you get my point, right? You cannot sit here and pretend like AIC is just some pushover team, because they're not. They're strong. They have a solid defense. This is not a team that's just going to sit down and allow teams to run them over. And if you're St. A's, you need to be really ready for this, because you have a shot here where with a win today and an Assumption loss, you finally see that path towards potentially ending the season in first place in the conference.
3-0 Assumption visiting Post today. Post is 1-2. Bentley has the week off. Again, they are 3-1 as the teams taking the field here. St. A's, the past couple years, they've had a lot of success against this American International team. They've won 5 straight against them, 6 of the last 7 since 2018. That follows a 14-game skid to the Yellow Jackets that started back in 2001. So the tables have turned, so to speak, and St. A is looking for a big showing here this afternoon.
Yep, and they're going to need it. Assumption in the second quarter with 2 minutes left is up 28-0 over Post. So it seems like they're going to continue their dominance on top of the standings. And we'll get a look at some of the key stats here in today's matchup. You'll see total offense. St. A's is second in the NE10 in terms of total offense, just 6th for the Yellow Jackets. But then it's those defensive numbers that you're looking at. The Yellow Jackets second in total defense and St. A's first in total defense. To me, the thing, though, that really stands out is that 4th down conversion percentage, over 55% for St. Anselm. So this is a team that's going to be aggressive when going for it on 4th down, and when they are going for it, they're going to make sure that they're able to convert. So that'll be something to pay attention to as this game goes on, and we'll see which team ends up in those situations where it's 4th and short, maybe 4th and 3, and you need to drop some sort of a passing play and get lucky and convert.
Take a look at the head coach for the St. Anselm Hawks. Joe Adam, 10th season at the helm of this program, has really turned this team into a competitive one here. Coming off a strong 2024, they finished third in the NE10 at 5-3 overall as the captains now make their way to midfield, and we're just moments away from the opening kick.
I'm excited. It should be a good game today. I'm expecting a tighter matchup. Neither one of these teams, as we mentioned before, is that explosive in terms of scoring points, and as we just showed, these are two of the top defenses in the conference, so it'll be interesting to see what wins out if we end up getting a shootout, which I don't really see happening, but honestly, I like a tight game, one that goes down, maybe a 21-14 with the team that has 14 needs to make a drive at the end of the game and they don't get it type of thing. Could be in for a very competitive matchup here.
At the opening coin toss, and couldn't quite pick that up from here, but
see in a second here when they give their signal. So looks like St. A's won the toss and they deferred to the second half. So St. A's will get the ball to start the second half and AIC will get the ball to start the first half.
We are just about set to go. Again, St. A's coming off a 21-0 shutout a week ago over Franklin Pierce. American International, their last outing, a 30-20 loss against Franklin Pierce. And now we're going to pause right here for the national anthem.
Here to play the national anthem is the St. Anselm Pep Band.
Just about set for the opening kickoff here today at Grapponi Stadium, Manchester, New Hampshire. St. Anselm Hawks and the Yellow Jackets of American International. Happy to have you along with us on Flow Sports. I'm Rich Bocchini, Seth Hellman alongside. Looking forward to an exciting game here this afternoon. Beautiful day for football here in this gorgeous fall Saturday, about 59 degrees. Not much of a breeze here at all, which a lot of times, Seth, you do get the wind whipping around up here in the hilltop.
Yeah, and it'll be nice to see kind of just the ability of the kicker to just kick, right, as opposed to having to deal with some nutty winds. There's a little bit of a slight breeze you can see on the end zone that St. A's is kicking toward. One of the flags is moving a little bit, but nothing that I think would affect football too much.
And here's the opening kick down the right side. And it hops out of bounds right about the 29-yard line.
Bit of a cheeky onside kick attempt there.
We'll start it from right around let's see where they spot it. Should be right around the 30. as the American International offense makes their way out onto the field. Now, something to keep in mind here. 2 quarterbacks on this team that are basically interchangeable. The number 7, Cephas Williams, and number 8, Connor Dietz. So a lot of times they'll be out there at the same time. One guy will get the ball, hand it off to the other. So it's something we're definitely going to have to keep an eye on, and something that the Hawks are going to have to be wary of as well.
That's where your defensive communication is important.
From the 35, it's Williams who fires it ahead up the right side. Levin makes the grab, and a gain on the play.
And tackle made there by Wolf. Did a good job. He was right there on the coverage and didn't let them get too many yards after the catch there. We'll see how often AIC wants to go empty backfield. It's just a 3-man front sometimes for St. A's. They really like to mask what they're doing on the D-line.
The snap handed off and sweeping up the left side. Bring up 3rd down. Get another look right here. They're calling it a loss of 1 on the play. It was Amir Smith on the carry. So 3rd and 4 from the American International 40-yard line. Williams calling signals. 2 receivers to his right, takes the snap, looking left, holding right over the top. That's caught, and picking up the first down, running up the right side of the field, Fatir Bell picks up a big first down.
I love the read there on the drag route. If you were watching the coverage back here, we'll get the replay. Watch the defensive coverage right here. See how number 6 this is the running play. I was watching, so on the close side, we had zone coverage here, and the defensive back on the close side started creeping inside, which created a lane on the outside that they were able to cut up to and get that first down.
1st and 10 from the 44. Williams hands it off, breaking up through the middle and picking up a gain. Should be about 6 or 7 yards on the play. Amir Smith again on the carry.
It's a fat gap right there on the right side of the line that got created. Pulled both a guard and a tackle there and did a great job. Had a lot of room to run. Nice chunk gain.
Call it 2nd and 3. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Williams directing traffic. Looks to his right now, right over the middle, and incomplete.
I liked what St. A's did there defensively. They kept their safeties really shallow initially to try to mask what they were doing and then backed off. It looked like they were in man, but it's always nice to find a way to make things a little bit more difficult on the quarterback. He's trying to identify where he wants to go with the ball and then ends up with kind of an awkward little dink and dump there, and Wolf was right there when he needed to make the pass breakup.
3rd and 3. 2 receivers to the left. Williams takes the snap under pressure, rolls out, holding, looking, fires it ahead. It's caught and short of the first down.
And once again, in-man coverage there for St. A's, but no deep safety help. I would have liked to have seen something from AIC going a little bit deeper. You're short on 4th down here, so it's reasonable to go for it. And I would have liked to have seen them try to take a shot. Obviously, he had to roll out under pressure and wasn't able to get quite the yardage that he needed. But 4th and short here, we'll see what they decide to do to go for it. 3 guys in the backfield.
Williams takes the snap. Looks to his left, fires ahead. That's caught. Good for the first down. And out of bounds.
And what I like about that read there is you had a couple of guys that were going deeper on the play, and you go to the short route. This is one of my beefs that I've had with the Patriots in recent years is they'll be third and short, third and a couple, and they'll throw a deep shot. Doesn't get greedy, just dumps it out into the flat and gets exactly how many yards he needs to get another first down.
Marching down the field, American International looking pretty good here at the outset. That's caught, breaking a tackle, and then finally brought down at the 29-yard line.
Yeah, a bit of a broken play there. The running back got a little bit outside. It was a screen, and usually with those, you want to be behind your offensive line as much as you possibly can. You'll see those three offensive linemen are chasing after the running back as opposed to being in front of him to set up a wall. He's able to get a couple of yards out of it, but definitely not the perfect way to design that one.
Williams has Smith to his right, takes the snap, looks, pump fakes, now fires over the middle, nobody home. Incomplete.
And it's another one of those three-man fronts for St. A's. So they go 3-4, and then they've got linebackers that come into pressure, and they're not pressuring hard. You can watch them kind of stop once they get to the offensive line, try to confuse those linemen, which created a hole there, put some pressure on the quarterback, and force the incompletion.
3rd and 8. Just underway here, first quarter, scoreless from Grapponi Stadium. 3 receivers to the left. Williams takes the snap, holds, looks, right over the top, caught, and immediately brought down. Fatir Bell on the reception. And that'll bring up 4th down.
It's a good read by the quarterback. That was the one guy that they had open, but in terms of a play design, you need more yardage than that. You can't be throwing a drag route on 3rd and 7. You need to get a little bit more of a chunk there, but it looks like they might be going for it here on 4th down. And I will note that their kicker in warm-ups seemed to be missing from the 30-yard line, so I don't think they're quite in field goal range yet.
4th and 6. Williams takes the snap. Looked like he wanted to run it himself, is able to break a tackle, and now sacked! Big loss on the play, and St. A's takes over.
Yeah, big job there by the defensive line of St. Anselm College. Jason Paganis is the one that gets into the backfield, the sophomore, and takes down the quarterback. Get the replay here. He had a double team on the left side, and he just comes in on the blind side. Had no idea. Williams had no idea that he was coming, and get a pretty big loss there on the sack.
So the ball spotted at the 36. The Hawks offense takes over. Drew Faulkner having a heck of a season. 1,126 passing yards on the season so far. Faulkner sends it right over the top. And a big gain on the play up the left side, breaking a tackle and finally brought down. That's Croce.
And we mentioned on the other side, AIC with the screen where they didn't have the lineman out in front of the running back. This time, you see a screen where the linemen are there. You only have one guy out deep, but he makes an important block there, and Croce does what Croce does, right, and gets across the 50.
That was Olinger on that big block. A lot of times the offensive line, they're not names you call all the time. They don't get a lot of attention, but, man, you get a block like that, that's huge.
Absolutely, and in a game where you have two teams that average 21 points and 17 points, you expect those linemen to be doing work in the trenches.
Faulkner faked the handoff right over the middle, and brought down just short of the goal line. Variest nearly brought it home.
Yeah, a bit of a miscommunication in coverage there. The outside DB thought he had safety help, but he didn't. Gets beat fresh off the line. See, he stops at the 40, and the safeties had sheeted down. They weren't expecting someone to come from that close side, and nearly finds his way into the end zone. So some miscommunication in the secondary right now for AIC. St. Anselm threatening early.
1st and goal. Ball spotted. We'll call it the, well, it looks like it's right on the 5. Faulkner runs it himself up the left side, trying to punch it in and stopped at about the 2.
Yeah, just ran out of room a little bit there. I like the idea, though. You've got essentially 4 tries here from this close to find your way into the end zone. So as long as you're not making a play that's going to send you backwards, you're in a good spot. They pick up about a yard, I think, maybe a yard and a half.
Two receivers to the right. Faulkner. Calling signals, takes the snap again, will try to run it himself, busts ahead, and did he get in? Yes! Touchdown Hawks!
It's exactly what you have to do from the 2-yard line. You try one run to the outside, and then on your second opportunity, you say, you know what? We're just going to jam it down your throat, get those 2 yards that you need. Nice physical play there from Faulkner, not shying away from the contact and driving it across the goal line.
First rushing touchdown of the season for Faulkner. And the extra point attempt. Garnieri is good. And the Hawks have a 7-0 lead here in the first. 7:03 to go. Why don't we take a quick timeout? We'll be back in just a moment. The Hawks up 7-0 here in the first. Seven 0 St. Anselm with the lead here over AIC. Faulkner with his first rushing touchdown of the season, and Garnieri with the extra point.
St. A's didn't waste any time on that first drive.
Another bouncer up the left side on the kickoff. Ooh, big hit. And get some pushes and shoves there after that play.
As someone who's blown out their knee before, the hits like that always worry me, particularly on a turf field. You see, he does a nice job to field the ground ball, but then it's those plays where you try to jump over the defender and you're extended and they hit your lower leg. If your cleat catches in the turf like it often does, it's a recipe for a lower body injury that's going to take a few months to come back from.
Now is Devontae Goodine Rodriguez who got upended there. Yellow Jackets offense back out there, and the snap handed off, sweeping up the left side of the field, trying to find some room, and stopped at about the 45-yard line is Brian LaFrance.
Yeah, doing a good job there from AIC to get a guy out there as your leading blocker. And then the secondary for St. A's was backing up, expecting a pass. Didn't realize in time that it was a run, and by the time they were able to shoot up and try to make the tackle, they'd already given up 7 yards.
Cephas Williams, the quarterback, has a man stacked up behind him. Fakes the handoff and fires a bomb long downfield, and nearly intercepted. It was intended for LaFrance, and man, that was in and out of the hands of Hosny. Just couldn't haul it in there, Seth.
Yeah, I mean, you executed beautifully on the fake handoff, but then he says, all right, let's just chuck this into triple coverage, short arms it, and nearly turns it over.
The first thing I noticed, too, is thrown into triple coverage on a bomb like that. We get a whistle and a flag on the play. Well, the penalty on the offense. They'll move the ball back No, illegal substitution. The call.
5-yard penalty there. So after you pick up a good chunk play on first down to get yourself 7 yards, you were in a good spot. You're ahead of what you need to be doing, and now all of a sudden you find yourself in a 3rd and long situation.
3 receivers to the right. Williams takes the snap under pressure. He's able to break free, and that's fired up the middle, tipped and incomplete. He'll bring up 4th down. Dangerous going up the middle, especially after almost being picked off on the previous play.
Right, I mean, you're in zone coverage here, right? So you're able to identify that, and for your wide receivers, you just need to find someone who's in an open spot. Unfortunately, the pressure's getting to him, so he makes an all right throw. Obviously, he hits his wide receiver in the hands there, but the mixture of the angle of where the wide receiver was running and the fact that he got hit at the same time creates the incompletion, then nearly on the deflect getting picked off.
Now we'll bring out the punter, Slakowski. Hosny is back for St. A's to return it.
Oh!
Kick nearly blocked.
And that's going to be a flag against St. A's in the backfield. They ran right into the kicker, so I think AIC is going to breathe a sigh of relief here.
See over on the sideline there, head coach Joe Adam talking to the officials, not...
And an AIC coach is livid over what just happened.
It's Dan Chipka is the head coach.
Penalties declined, 1st down.
Boy, Chipka's fired up. I don't blame him.
I'm...
Hawks begin 1st and 10 from their 25-yard line. I know.
The referee's microphone's still on. He's saying he hit his kicking leg. I mean, he got full-on tackled. I don't understand. Like, I kind of agree here with the AIC head coach. It was a full-on tackle. There wasn't any like, oh, we accidentally slid into him and knocked into his kicking leg. He got full-on hit, and he's still going after the referee here.
He's following him down. Look at him all the way down the sideline.
I think AIC has a legitimate gripe here. We'll see if their defense now can refocus and shut down this drive.
And another flag here.
It's going to be a false start.
Yeah. Oh, we know the referee's mic works. That's good, right?
Yeah, it was a little bit spotty there for the first couple of calls and then accidentally leaves it on while he's talking to him. Sometimes it's nice to have that little bit of insight.
I enjoyed that. Yeah, that was nice to hear what he was saying.
You also have to be careful, though, because you never know what colorful language might be shared. Not from the refereeing side, I'm sure from the coaching side.
It's a family program here. So 7-0 Hawks with the lead. They start from their own 19. 1st and 15 after the flag. Pass up the left side of the field is caught. Levin. Or check that.
It'll be Croce on the catch there. So getting back to the original line of scrimmage, giving yourself now a 2nd down and 10. Just dump that one off to the flat, try to pick up a couple of yards there and see what you can't do on 2nd down here. The unfortunate part about getting backed up is that you're relying on throwing the ball a lot more than running it.
2nd and 10 from the 25. Trying to move it up the right side of the field, and
we've got a lineman back in the backfield down on the ground right now for St. A's holding his right knee.
See if we can get the license plate on who that is. Get another look here.
I think that's the center. I think that's Vincent Chula. That could be huge.
Yeah, 54.
Yeah, just gets rolled right over there in a tough spot trying to make the block.
Well, the Hawks up 7-0 here on the rushing touchdown from Faulkner. He punched it in from about the 2-yard line.
Sorry, it's Ciula, not Shula, my bad.
So the athletic staff out to take a look at the injured player. We'll toss it to a quick break, and we'll be back right after this. Hawks up 7-0, any 10 football here on Flow Sports.
Willie Pridgeon's warming up.
Well, Seth, injury here early on, and that's always unfortunate.
Yeah, and it's tough to see, your starting center, a senior, Vincent Ciula. Luckily, he's walking off under his own power, though unfortunately with some serious injuries, you're just able to do that. We saw Pridgeon warming up on the sideline, getting ready to go into the game, so I don't think that Blake Brewer, who's listed on the 2 deep as the backup center, is in the game right now. They've shifted guys over.
Forkner takes the snap, fires up the right side of the field. Caught. It'll be short of the first down by about 4 yards.
I think James Mullen has moved over to play center here. Obviously, St. A's is just going to punt it. It's a little bit too far at the moment to go for it, unless they're going to fake a punt.
Tom Murray is the punter. Levin down to the left is the kick returner. 7-0 Hawks with the lead here in the first. High snap. The kick spirals down. Caught at the 30.
Yeah, solid punt there. And now for AIC, another opportunity to get back at it offensively. Did a good job there on defense. Keep this one in a one-score game and not give anything up. And now we'll see what they can do offensively. I feel like they're in a spot where they should really be trying to run the ball more than pass it. I think they've had a little bit more success there, but we'll see where they decide to go.
Williams so far 6 of 10 passing for the Yellow Jackets. The snap, the handoff, trying to bust it up the middle and runs into a wall.
I said that I felt like they'd had more success running the ball, and immediately you see St. A's come out with 6 guys along that defensive line and absolutely destroy any chance of picking up yardage there on the run play for AIC. Yeah, I mean, it literally gets the ball handed off to him, and there's already a Hawk in the backfield there.
Loss of 1 on the play. The snap, and oh man, brought down, not even. The whistle goes, that's a loss of 9 yards on the sack.
Yeah, I mean, that's just another example of why getting to the quarterback really is the most important thing defensively. You'll see here, you're not going to see in the secondary, but you'll see just not a lot of time in the backfield to throw the ball. Michael Cranting was wide open in the middle of the field for a solid gain in between that zone defense that St. A's was showing, and they could have had a nice chunk play there, but because of that pressure, they now find themselves at 3rd and really long.
Second sack of the day for the Hawks. High snap, handed off, up the left side, and well short.
Yeah, I don't think that was a play that was meant to get them the full yardage that they needed to get to the first down. That was more of a, if we get a chunk of yards, we get a chunk of yards. Let's just not do something stupid here and get the punt off.
Hosny back to receive and about the 35-yard line. St. A's defense is really stacked up big here at the line.
Yeah, they're keeping AIC guessing defensively right now, and the Yellow Jackets haven't been comfortable offensively all game.
And that's blocked. Oh, man, that is a loose ball and recovered by the Hawks.
Well, you saw an inkling of it on that last punt where St. A's got the penalty for running into the kicker. There's definitely a weakness on the right side of the protection on the punt team for AIC, and Ryan Delancey gets into the backfield there, gets to the punter in time, and is able to block that one down. And now St. A's threatening inside the 20.
Up 7-0. It was Faulkner who punched it in on a short run play. And now from the 13-yard line, with 2:16 to go here in the first, Faulkner gets the snap, looks to his right, corner route, and incomplete.
Sorry, I don't think that was Delancey. I think it was number 14 on the punt block. It should have been Lucas Stallard.
I think Delancey came up with the ball and
gotcha.
And
okay.
Ran, so
that was the miscommunication on our part there. So Stallard, I think, gets the block, and then see a little bit of contact there. But honestly, I don't think that's a catchable ball. So nothing to worry about there. Just good hard defense.
There's Lundy in there on the coverage. 2nd and 10 for the Hawks, leading 7-0. Two receivers to Faulkner's left. The snap immediately handed off, trying to bust it up the middle, and a short gain on the play. Almeida. First time we've called his name today.
You're kind of in an awkward yardage situation here right now on 3rd down, where it's 3rd down on the 9, so you do have room to get a first down, but you'd have to go for about a 6-yard gain. It's the junior running back, Anthony Alameda, rushed for a career-high 86 yards on 18 carries last week.
And a 21-0 win over Franklin Pierce. 3rd and 6. The snap, fire to the right side, caught, touchdown.
Just a complete blown coverage there. Jake Croce coming out of the backfield to run the route. Nobody picked him up on that far side, and St. A's picks up the 13-0 lead. You see it right there. I mean, there's not a single white jersey remotely in the area. It's just a blown coverage on that one.
First receiving touchdown of the season for Croce. Guarnieri for the extra point. That is up and good, and the Hawks have a 14-0 lead here with 1:20 to go in the first quarter. We'll step aside for a quick timeout. NE10 football here on Flow Sports continues in just a moment. Time winding down here in the first quarter here at Pony Stadium.
The rare fair catch on the kickoff return there, electing to just catch that one around the 29-yard line for AIC. So St. A's continuing to choose to not go particularly deep on their kickoffs, and it's worked out for them so far.
Yellow Jackets from the 29. Ball on the right hash. Muffed on the snap, but picked up. And a gain on the play. The two quarterbacks were there, Cephas Williams and Connor Dietz, and it's Dietz who picked up that snap and was able to pick up 5 yards or so on the play. They lucked out.
Yeah, it's a broken play, and I like what the Yellow Jackets are doing. You know, you set up those two quarterbacks. You don't really technically know which guy is going to get the ball. Obviously, one of them's setting up like he's the quarterback, but a good job to pick the ball up off the ground and pick up a nice chunk of yardage.
Two receivers to the left of Williams, who hands it off, and it's Dietz who takes it. Short gain on the play, if anything. We'll call it a gain of a yard, 2nd and 4.
There's not a lot of room running.
3rd and 4, excuse me.
Over to that left side, and we'll see if they elect to run another play here. You can see on that game clock we're down to just 20 seconds. I don't see why you wouldn't run another play here on 3rd down, but maybe they try to just draw St. A's off sides here.
Williams takes the snap, looks to his left, fires quickly. That's caught, and the Yellow Jackets will pick up a 1st down.
I think he fumbled that ball as he got to the sideline, but the ball goes out of bounds. Still for enough for a 1st down. It's Bryan on the wide receiver screen there on the left side, and it will be a fresh set of downs for AIC when we come back after this break between quarter number 1 and quarter number 2. St. A's leads 14-0.
$14-0 St. Anselm leading American International here in flag as we come back from the break, just underway in the 2nd quarter. Get a look right here.
I think that's going to be a hold there on the right side of that offensive line. Saw that the D end for St. A's got taken down, and 10-yard penalty here, so it'll be 1st and 20 from the 30-yard line. So now all of that work that AIC did to get that 1st down is wiped away, and they've got a decent chunk of yards they got to get now.
Williams takes the snap, drops back. Looked to go right over the top, and incomplete. Corentang was the intended recipient.
Yeah, I mean, that's a deep coverage incompletion there. Everyone that had run forward was covered. There wasn't anywhere to throw the ball up top, and so has nowhere to go other than to dump it off. A little bit too much mustard on that one, and the running back has to reach up with the left hand, can't corral it. It's Corentang on the missed catch there, so 2nd and 20 now.
From the Yellow Jackets' 30-yard line, the snap quickly thrown to the right side, trying to juke and find some room. It'll be short of the 1st down. That was. And Perez on the reception.
Yeah, I mean, they're having success with that wide receiver screenplay on the outside. You see he fakes the handoff, has to get the ball out quick because there's pressure, and you see those two other receivers out there blocking for him, and that's exactly how they got the first down that got them to the 40-yard line initially before the end of the first quarter, and now with 3rd and 3, significantly more manageable.
Williams fires a strike, and that's caught sweeping up the left side and picking up the first down and more. Big play right there for the Yellow Jackets. Fatir Bell with the giant gain.
It's kind of a, ooh, look what I found catch, streaking across, really barely past the offensive line on the drag route, and as you said, an absolute laser of a throw. Under pressure, gets it out, bobbles it a little bit, and then all of a sudden, look at all of this room to run. Maybe an argument for an ineligible man downfield there. There was a lineman, that was Kinsey, that was pretty far down the field on that.
Well, hand it off this time. No, fake the handoff, and Williams, under pressure, throws it away.
Yeah, looking deep there, didn't have any options in the shorter yardage situation there, and the secondary of St. A's doing a good job in coverage out past 15 yards or so. So you see the play action here. Pretty good job on the line, and then he has to roll out after there was nowhere to go for AIC.
Ball at the 36, 2nd and 10. St. A's up 14-0 here early in the second quarter. Williams directing traffic. 9 of 15 passing today, and we get a whistle. Looks like a timeout called by the Yellow Jackets.
There's a lot of frustration being showed by the coaching staff on the Yellow Jackets sideline. It looks like it's Dan Chipka. I think that's their head coach over there. It looks like the same guy that was complaining before. But yeah, so he's obviously frustrated with something that he saw out of his offense there. They are slowly making progress. Obviously, it's 2nd and 10 right now, but you're on the right side of the 50. I think it's really just a matter of let's relax here. Let's continue to try to run some of these screen plays. They've obviously had a lot of success with that on the outside wide receiver screens. I'd like to see them execute a little bit better on the running back screen plays, but we'll see what they're able to scheme up. Obviously, the run game went dry last drive, so we'll see where they decide to go here, 2nd and 10.
Williams looking to his left, quickly gets it away. That's caught, and it'll be short of the first down. Connor Dietz with the yardage. It'll bring up 3rd and short.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good job of just finding a way to get yourself over the linebackers under the linebackers, and find your way up. There's not a lot of defensive presence there on that left side, and then everyone else was pretty deep, so able to pick up a really nice chunk of yards there and only need a couple now to get yourself another first down.
Two receivers to the right of Williams, takes the snap, looks to his left, holds, under pressure, holding, and now fires it.
Yeah, I think I had mentioned earlier, not trying to go for too much on 3rd and short. But now we find ourselves on 4th down with only a couple of yards left. I would have liked to have seen them try to just run one up the gut there, and then if you didn't get it, try for something else. I know that your run game, as I said before, hasn't been stellar for the last few plays, but I mean, this short yardage, you got to think that that's where you need to go. And now with just the 3-man front showing for St. A's, obviously the tackle box is a little bit stacked here, but
Williams throws the strike to his left. That's caught and immediately brought out of bounds. That'll be good enough for the first down. Arthur on the catch. I was just about to say the Hawks heading into the game, just 78 first downs allowed this season. That's fourth in the NE10. Only 2 behind conference leader American International. In the last 2 games alone, St. A's conceded no more than 10 first downs. But a big one right there for the Yellow Jackets as they're trying to march down the field here, down 14-0. Williams, again directing traffic. Play clock winding down. Williams, got to get this play off quickly, takes the snap, fake the handoff, and brought down short of the line of scrimmage. Smith on the carry, loss of about 2 on the play.
Yeah, it's a tough cut there. He's under pressure the moment he gets the ball. You see an uncontested guy and then has to cut up the middle. There wasn't really a great spot for him to go. There might have been more room if he could have beaten that Hawks player to the outside, but it's so close there that he probably gets grabbed no matter what. So a good job to try to get as close to being back to the line of scrimmage as possible. And now AIC completely empty in the backfield.
They call it a loss of 1. 2nd and 11. Williams fires a quick strike. That's caught. Trying to move up the left side of the field again on the catch. Corntang.
And a really good job there from Williams. He knew he was going to take a hit as he threw it, and he took a big one as well, but he's able to get the pass off, pick up a really nice chunk of yards there, and now once again you find yourself in a 3rd and short scenario with the ability to stay outside of the 10. So you saw right there he was about to get absolutely clobbered on the backside. I think that was Ratelli for St. A's. That was coming across on the end and then makes the strike there. 3rd and 1.
From the 13-yard line. 3 receivers stacked up to the right. The snap, handed off, and that should be good for the first down. Connor Dietz on the rush. And that is good enough for the first down.
And they got 1st and 10 as well. They got stopped at about the 11, so not quite 1st and goal. Have the opportunity to get yourself a nice little reset there, and I like the read there from the back to start going left with all of your blockers and where they're pushing it, and saw enough of a gap to just cut it right up the middle. You only needed a yard to begin with, so it doesn't need to be a huge chunk play there, and get yourself a fresh set of downs.
Williams takes the snap, fake the run, hands it off. And a gain on the play. Smith on the carry, picked up, what do you think, 4 yards or so?
Yeah, it's another one of those counter plays, right? You're moving the entire defense to the right side. See, everyone's blocking to the right side. Then you hand it off to your running back. He fakes like he's going with them, and all of a sudden cuts it back upfield, picks up a couple of yards, and now you're starting to see AIC just getting a couple, right? 3 yards, 3 yards. 3 yards. Just keep doing that. Eventually you'll find your way into the end zone.
Williams and Dietz, the 2 quarterbacks, right next to each other. It's Williams who takes the snap under pressure. There's a flag on the play. The pass is caught, and the whistle goes. Let's see what the call is here.
It's a good job by Williams to get out of the pressure. Because of where the flag was thrown and when it was thrown, I have to imagine that we're looking at something with one of the linemen, whether offensive or defensive, but the way he's signaling, that makes me think there's a hold. Yeah, holding on the offense. So that'll back them up a little bit, which is unfortunate here for the Yellow Jackets. Let's see if we can see it. Yeah, maybe might have been on the backside there. I'm not 100% sure.
It brings up 2nd and 17 now.
There wasn't anything that really stood out to me as a big.
Same as I was looking at it. 14-0 Hawks with the lead, and the Yellow Jackets. Tough break for them as they seem to be picking up a little bit of steam. perhaps more room to work with for the quarterback here. As Williams throws to his left, bobbled but caught, and it'll be a loss on the play.
And it's another screen play there. You're just trying to set up some blockers on the outside and do something other than run the ball here. And a really good job from St. A's to identify it. They're able to get around that initial block, right, and then break that up. And then look at the swarm of navy blue jerseys. And all of a sudden, there's just nowhere to run. And now you got 3rd and 16 trying to find your way into the end zone.
3 receivers to the right. Williams takes the snap. Looking right, found a little hole, right over the middle, incomplete.
And it was a great route run there on the outside.
Kevin Pinheiro, the intended recipient, had it in his hands but just couldn't hang on, Seth.
Yeah, and I was watching the outside there the entire time before the play because they had 3 guys stacked up out there. I had an inkling that maybe the ball was going over there, and he did kind of this nice little, almost like he was playing basketball, a little bit of a hezzy, and then cut middle and was wide open. Just couldn't wrangle in the pass.
Fonseca on the field goal attempt. That's blocked.
Yeah, poor snap there along the ground. Basically just rolled to the holder and then didn't have enough time to get the kickoff. And I based on what we saw in warm-ups, that does feel like the edge of field goal range for them. So an unfortunate play there. The special teams really struggling right now for AIC from a blocking standpoint. You see just how low on the ground that was, and then just a gap on that right side. Once again, it's the right side of the blocking for the special teams that is causing a problem right now for AIC.
Might have hit one of his own players. Just judging from that replay, it's tough to tell.
I thought that the hand got up there.
Either way, St. A's takes over. Faked the handoff, fired up the right side, and incomplete, intended for number 2, Malachi Jones.
Yeah, he threw it a little bit behind his receiver there. Decent coverage. Didn't really have much of a window to throw that ball into, and got the replay here. You see standing looking for it, and then, yeah, you just have 2 guys running. Good coverage there from Ronil Romaine, one of the safeties, dropping down into man-on-man coverage there. So nice to see some versatility out of this secondary.
Forkner takes the snap, drops back, holding, looking, wobbly pass up the right side. Incomplete, brings up 3rd and 10.
Yeah, once again, just good man-to-man coverage here from the AIC secondary. There wasn't room to throw the ball anywhere, and so he just dumps it out to his little safety net there, but under a little bit of pressure in the pocket and throws it just a little bit too high. And those are the real dangerous throws, because if one of the safeties or one of the corners on the outside sees that throw and that it's going long, all of a sudden they step up to catch that. No one's there to stop them, and you're asking for a pick 6.
3rd and 10 from the St. A's 20. Forkner looking to his left, under pressure, trying to run it himself, tripped up.
Yeah, and a nice nifty little blitz there from AIC. A little bit of a hesitation from one of the linebackers, and then goes full blast. He was blocked initially, but Forkner had to step up in the pocket, didn't really have anywhere to go. Yeah, you see the pocket gets blown up, and a great job there from Ja'Kai Stith. That's the guy who I was watching initially, and he made the play.
Murray out to punt. Levin picks up a bouncer on the left side. Not a whole lot of room to work with there, but picked up a couple yards after picking up that hopping ball. And AIC will take over from about their 45-yard line.
Yeah, not bad there. This is one of the better spots that AIC's been in terms of field position. They're going to have it at about
more like the 42.
Yeah, the 42-yard line here. So we'll see what they can do. They got 6 minutes and 55 seconds to try to drive down the field, get some points on the board here. But also, to their credit, defensively right now, they're keeping them in this game. So let's see if the offense can pick up the defense here.
Williams gets the pass away. That's caught. And right about the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough rollout throw to make there. You know, I like the idea of using play action, try to get them to bite, and threw it over to Arthur there. But it's just rolling out that way is so awkward for a right-handed throwing quarterback, right? Because you have to spin away from how you're throwing it, and it's really tough to get a lot of mustard on that, so you can't throw it particularly deep, and you essentially did nothing to lose it down there.
Arthur went to the sidelines. The way he went down, it looked like he might have tweaked a knee a little bit. I don't want to speculate, but he immediately went off. Williams fires up the left side, and is that incomplete?
Yeah, they're saying incomplete. He was bobbling it as he went to the sideline there, so I don't know that he had possession before stepping out of bounds. He definitely got a foot in. That was Fatir Bell on the drop. Well, I shouldn't say drop. He caught it.
Yeah, we'll get a good look from this angle here. Oh, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, he landed completely out of bounds as well. So even if he had caught that ball without bobbling it, he would have been out.
3rd and 9. And we'll keep an eye to see if Arthur comes back in. Williams, 14 of 23 passing today, goes right over the middle. That's caught good for the first down, out to the CNA's 40-yard line. Brian LaFrance on the reception.
And it's a good play there. Your back's against the wall a little bit on 3rd and 9, and able to find someone right up the middle.
Second catch of the day for LaFrance. Gets the first down, 5:35 and rolling here in the second quarter. St. A's up 14-0. Williams under pressure. Gets the pass away up the left side, wide open down the field. And a big gain on that play by Dietz. Another first down for the Yellow Jackets.
Fantastic poise in the pocket there from Williams. He was under significant pressure on the right side off of the blitz. Had to roll out of the pocket. You'll see it right here. Sees the coverage. Luckily, the way his reads were right, he's bouncing back, looking to his right, sees that he's getting pressured, runs to his left side, makes the play, and we get a timeout here.
Take it back through the scoring. As far as where we are right now, a 14-0 lead for St. A's.
So you'll see on the scoreboard here for St. A's on our thing, you can see that the new logo. What do you think of the new logo, Rich?
It's sharp. I want to get another look at it properly here in a moment, but I like the hawk. I mean, that's solid looking, sharp, very strong looking logo.
Yeah, I like it. I actually really like it.
It looks like at midfield as well. I mean, there's room there to put that hawk in there, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And that's an easy paint job. So 1st and 10 here for AIC. Last time they were down in this territory, they were forced to attempt a field goal, which was blocked. Williams hands to Dietz. Nope, Williams going to run it himself up the left side, and that'll be short of the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it's Laguerre on the tackle. They're venturing outside to get all the way over to get to the quarterback. I mean, there was nowhere to run there. There were multiple navy blue sweaters. And you see, I mean, that's a QB run play the whole way. I don't really think that's a read option there, the way that he pulled that ball down and immediately went for it. The better read probably would have been to hand it off if it was a read option there, but you still got some time here, 2nd and 10, and a gap in between the first down marker and the goal line.
Williams looking, holding. Up the right side, that's caught. Bell stopped at about the 14-yard line, a pickup of 5 or so.
And there's a flag at the 25, which is over by where Williams was down on the field. And based on the reaction I'm seeing defensively from Ratelli, I think we might be seeing a roughing the passer call here. So maybe a fresh set of downs for AIC. Yeah, that's going to be a roughing the passer against St. A's. So that's a big penalty right there, even though you saw the chunk play. So you've got the drag route coming, pressure on the outside, the ball's clearly out, and then he shoves him over. I mean, look,
really?
By the book, it's right. But as
he held up. Oh, man, all right. Well,
look, like, by the book, it's correct.
It is.
Okay,
it is.
The referee made the right call. I just think the book is dumb.
Well, it's borderline. We'll leave it at that. So within striking distance here, the ball handed off, trying to run it up the right side of the field.
Number 23, Paul Catherwood on the carry for AIC.
So 3:45 and rolling here in the first. The borderline penalty call gets the Yellow Jackets within scoring position. Nice run up the right side of the field. Nice read defensively to get in there and shut that down as well. 2nd and goal from right about the 5-yard line on the hash. Williams handed it off, sweeping up the left side of the field and in. Touchdown, Yellow Jackets.
That's a big play right there. Initially, you thought they might have been faking it and then bringing it to the outside, but then a great job running the ball there. Catherwood on the touchdown, just able to cut up a little bit and then jet to the outside, and there was just enough of a block to slow down St. A's, and he wins the race to the pylon, and AIC gets on the board for the first time with 3:10 to go in the first half.
Extra point attempt here by Fonseca.
Yeah, another jumbled up snap there. The snap itself was okay. The holder fumbled it, and they were able to get the kickoff in time to make the extra point there and cut the lead down to 7. So a much more manageable situation here for AIC potentially going into the half, as long as they can keep what they've been doing on defense. I mean, defensively, right, they faltered a little bit early on, but they've been really solid ever since. You know, down 14-0 in the first quarter, haven't given anything up yet in the second. So I like what we're seeing defensively right now from AIC, doing exactly what they need to do to stay in this game. It's just a matter of, can the offense catch up?
Bill Catherwood on the 5-yard rush. And the extra point attempt, like you said, cut the lead in half.
For AIC, number 22, Santana Fonseca. Back to receive, number 2, Malachi Jones.
Malachi Jones back to receive. Fair catch. It was actually Dietz who was back there. Jones was over to his left. St. A's going back on offense here. Just looking at the score sheet, Faulkner earlier on connected with Croce on the touchdown, and they have Ronan Noak on the rush. I thought that was Faulkner who punched it in earlier on. We'll double check that, but nonetheless, 14-7. Hawks with the lead. We'll get an update on that Assumption game as well in a little bit. St. A's and Assumption battling for the top spot in the NE10. Snap, handed off, right up the middle, gain of about 6 on the play.
Number 6, Emmanuel Arquente.
You got time here. You got 2 timeouts to work with, so don't necessarily need to rush. You're not quite in the 2-minute drill yet.
So Manuel Larraquente on the rush. Gain of 6, 2nd and 4. 14-7. St. A's with the lead. Faulkner. Low snap. Picks it up. Hands it off. And maybe a short gain on the play. Again, Larraquente. Nice recovery there by Faulkner. That snap was very, very low.
Yeah, it's along the ground. You got to almost pretend like you're a shortstop there and just try to block it as best you can and get your hands out in front of you, get the ball into your running back's arms as quickly as you possibly can, and then get the play going.
So pickup of 2 on the play. 3rd and 2, and another timeout called. Why don't we take a timeout? We get the 2-minute warning. We'll take a quick break and back in just a moment. St. A's up 14-7 here. Any 10 football on Flow Sports.
Sports fans, we pack stadiums, arenas, and local gyms every day. And every sports fan is uniquely human. Seeing each play with your own eyes, triggering your own emotions. And as humans, we won't agree on every call, but we can act with empathy and consideration. So put yourself in the official shoes. Be more than a fan. Be officially human.
Back here with the 14-7 lead for St. A's over AIC. Just at the 2-minute warning here in the first half of play from Grapponi Stadium. Rich Bocchini, Seth Hellman, happy to have you along with us on this gorgeous October afternoon. Faulkner hands it off. And I believe that for the 3rd time in a row, no, that's Croce this time. Number 4, they've handed it off to the number 6 the last 2 plays.
And I think we're getting a timeout from the AIC sideline here, which is, I mean, hey, it's smart. You know, they want to stop the clock and leave themselves as much time to score as possible. The punt unit comes out for St. A's because they didn't realize that a timeout was called, and they're staying out on the field. So, I don't know. I gotta kind of question the offensive play calling here a little bit if you're St. A's. You ran the ball 3 times instead of trying to go for a couple of chunk plays and create a 2-minute drive here. I mean, look, you're only up 7. Like, I get that AIC's offense hasn't looked spectacular, but you can't be feeling comfortable with just a 7-point lead right now. You need to try to get some offense going. The passing game is there. I don't know why you wouldn't just lean on Faulkner and have him try to lead your team down the field, and now all of a sudden you're just giving the ball back to AIC. Their confidence is going to be high because they just scored.
Faulkner's just 5 of 8 passing today. But I'm with you. I'm surprised they didn't go for a big yardage play on this drive here.
I mean, 5 of 8 is still comfortably in the 60s. You know, it's 62%, so...
Fair catch with 1:45 to go. They let a second tick off. So, I mean, you're right. You give the ball up here with 1:44 to go, and
I mean, even with the 1 timeout, that's plenty of time.
Yeah. And you look at Williams today, his numbers 16 of 25 passing, 64%. I mean, they're not a bad team.
No.
The Yellow Jackets. This is a team that has moved down the field. They've been stymied by a couple of mistakes, but you clean those up. I mean, this is a competitive team.
Yeah, I mean, admittedly, I haven't been able to watch AIC football this year, but just looking at the stats, they feel like they should be better than they are.
Williams with the pass. That's caught by Bell. Had to reach up high to pull that one down and immediately stopped. Lost about a yard on the play.
Yeah, you know, I say they should be better than they are, and then they go and do something like that where they lose a yard or maybe 2 on the pass there. as I think they spotted him at the 29. They're going quick.
Williams fires up the right side. That is caught and immediately shoved out of bounds as Lewis.
That's a little bit more of what you need. You should be throwing up the sidelines here. Right now, you have time. Like, you can go no huddle, but you're down to 1:16 on the clock with just one timeout because they've now used 2. And so you do need to move a little bit quickly. You get the opportunity to kind of relax and reset here after going out of bounds, but they're going to have to rely on the pass game, which is what they did on the last drive.
3rd and 4 from their own 36. The snap, handed off, and running up the right side of the field, almost off to the races, and picking up even more yardage was Dietz. Man, if he was able to get around that last defender there, he was gone.
Well, but also alternatively, the fact that he got slowed down and he was able to break that tackle importantly allowed him to get out of bounds, right? You see him cut up field now, and he just barely gets grabbed onto there. Who knows if he would have gotten caught after that, but because he's able to break the tackle, he's able to get himself out of bounds and stop the clock again.
Big first down with 1:09 left here in the first half. Williams under pressure, looking, gets the pass away. That's caught by Dietz, who runs it ahead and picks up another first down.
Absorbing a huge hit in the middle of the field there. And because they got that first down, they're able to stop the clock momentarily here as the chains move.
Williams, again under pressure, looks to his left, throws it out of bounds, and the clock stops with 50 seconds left in this first half. St. A's up 14-7, but the Yellow Jackets, man, a touchdown here. You talk about momentum.
Yeah, I mean, it's important that for St. A's that they get the ball to start the second half, right? You're going to need to readjust some things at halftime, but for AIC, they're taking momentum into the half right now. If they can score here, they've got a real shot in this game.
Williams fakes the pass, now lets it go, finds Dietz, makes the catch, avoids one tackler, and then gets it out of bounds at about the 21-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, I get the setting up in the backfield, but you're putting a linebacker on Dietz right now, and he's just too athletic, too mobile, too agile to have a linebacker out there in coverage with him, and now you're just getting burned every single time he gets the ball. At some point, you got to make an adjustment defensively, and I mean, the pressure they're getting on the defensive line is really significant. Williams is not comfortable back there in the pocket.
From the 23, Williams holding, looking, fires to his right, and that's caught just short of another first down. I believe that was Dietz again on the catch.
Yeah, I mean, it's working, right? You might as well keep giving him the ball.
5th reception of the day, 62 yards for Dietz, and another timeout.
And that's probably smart. I know that you don't want to help the offense stop the clock here if you're St. A's, but at the same time, it is more important to slow things down and say, hey, let's lock back in, let's reset, let's make sure that everyone is as strong as they can be right now. Everyone's got their wind, and we're able to find a way to shut this down. I mean, you know that the special teams right now for AIC is questionable at best, and at the right side of the protection on the kicking, both punting and place kicking has been an issue for the Yellow Jackets. So if you can force this into a situation where it does become 4th down and the Yellow Jackets feel like they don't have enough time to go for more plays, and you can force that field goal team out there, that's your best case scenario if you're the Hawks. And if you're AIC, I mean, look, you've been driving really well. You have a short field. Let's just throw out routes now. Get something to the sideline. Let's maintain your timeout and find a way into the end zone.
Coming up at the half, we'll take you through the scoring. Take a look at some of the scores from around the NE10 as well, as Williams throws to his left. That's caught and brought down at about the 4-yard line. LaFrance on the reception. And another timeout called.
Yeah,
Yellow Jackets are knocking on the door right here with 20 seconds left in the half.
Yep, got the clock to stop briefly there because you got the first down, and now you're able to set up and say, hey, you know what? Let's take our own timeout. And I love that play. They had everyone moving to the left side, on these small little drags and slants, and then they have one guy that's ready to cut back up field with blockers, and you pick up a nice little chunk there, get yourself into 1st and goal, and now you take your timeout. You've just got to get about 8 or 9 yards or so. It looks like the spot might be on the 8-yard line. It's tough to tell from my angle if it's on the 8 or if it's in between, but really great opportunity here for the Yellow Jackets to find their way in the end zone.
Coming into this game today, St. A's has forced 16 turnovers, and if there was ever a time for the defense to step up, it's right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we really haven't seen any turnovers today other than the blocked punt, if you really want to call that a turnover. So
Williams directing traffic. 1st and goal for the Yellow Jackets. Williams throws it right over the middle. Incomplete. It was intended for number 5, Lewis.
yeah,
And under heavy coverage there was...
It's a really, really nice timing play there from the senior Frank Schmidt. Any earlier than that, and he's asking for a pass interference call, but manages to time it right in the eyes of the referees.
Well, it looked like Lewis kind of put his hands up and was looking around, right?
Yeah, he wanted it for sure, and it was definitely close on the timing there with the tackle, but you still got 16 seconds and a couple of downs here.
2nd and goal. Oh, man! Recovered the snap and sacked at the 22. Williams bobbled that high snap. You talk about mustard on the snap, and St. A's.
Yeah, they tried to really quickly get back to the line of scrimmage and snap it. I don't know if they're going to give them the spike here. There was some miscommunication. I mean, all of the linemen got back in time, but the wide receivers were a little bit slow to get back into the play, and you see there the official signal from the head referee there. And that's going to do it for the first half of play. So a bad snap there gets AIC while they're threatening, and they're unable to execute. So we'll see. I mean, look, this defense, I have full faith in this AIC defense. They definitely have the ability to take this team into the second half and pick up a win here, but it's going to come down to the offense. You know, I get that they're short on time there, but you can't afford to sputter there, and there are definitely some things that need to be cleaned up, whether it's the special teams or, snapping in general, right? We've seen some poor snaps on special teams. We just saw a poor snap really cost them on that last drive, so it's important for AIC to lock in here during halftime and get those little things fixed. And then, of course, as I've mentioned a couple of times, let's fix that coverage on the right side of the blocking on special teams, whether that's field goal kicking or on the punts. And once you lock that in, hey, honestly, without that blocked punt, I'm not convinced that St. A's leads this game right now.
Oh, you look at the scores from this season, American International, you take away their season opener, 34-7 loss at Central Connecticut State. They've basically been in every game. They haven't been blown out by any stretch of the imagination here, and within striking distance here this afternoon, down 14-7 at the half. So we're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we'll take you through the scoring. We'll look at some highlights, and we'll get some scores from around the NE10. St. A's up 14-7. Stay with us here at NE10 Football on Flow Sports. Halftime here at Grapponi Stadium in Manchester, New Hampshire. Happy to have you with us. St. A's leading AIC 14-7. Rich Bocchini, Seth Hellman, happy to have you along with us as we take you through the scoring in the first half and some of the highlights from this game. Pretty evenly matched contest, and drawing first blood was the Hawks. And on this drive right here, look at this pass. Kyle Varias, 43 yards on the reception, would pull St. A's within scoring position. And then a play that we initially thought was the quarterback who snuck in. Instead, it's Ronan Noak who busted in from 2 yards to put St. A's up early in the game.
Yeah, Noki gets thrown in there a lot of the times in those close situations, just a couple of yards. And honestly, you just have to pay attention to the sleeves, right? You see the white sleeves instead of the dark sleeves, and then you see touchdown number 2, the passing play on the far side. And then you see here, watch that right side of the blocking just completely misses a guy, and the field goal gets blocked for AIC. And then this is the handoff that got them into the end zone for their only score of the game. And so, when you're looking at both of these teams, right, AIC feels like they've been a little bit more methodical with the ball, get a little bit of a celebration here, going to dunk the football into the trash can, which, feels like celebration, a little bit of alley-oop.
That's become a tradition here at St. A's over the past couple of years, dunking the ball into the trash can. Up 14-7, the Hawks leading here. We look at the Williams. Cephas Williams has been busy at quarterback for the Yellow Jackets, 22 of 33 passing for a total of 179 yards. On the other side is Drew Faulkner, 5 of 8 passing for 1 touchdown. He connected with Croce, and as we said, it's Noak who had that rushing touchdown. We look at some of the stats here throughout this game. Again, I said it pretty evenly matched. What stands out to you, Seth?
Well, to me, it's just the vast number of, obviously you see it there, the first downs, right? AIC 13 first downs here to 3 for St. A's. St. A's has obviously had those few explosive plays when they score, and so you're in a situation where you have one team who's, when they get the ball, they're marching a little bit more and trying to, take their time, these small little chunk plays as opposed to these huge plays down the field. And you see it a little bit, right in the yardage, right? The yardage is pretty even, but then you go down to third down conversions. AIC's had 12 third downs in this game. Granted, they're doing a very good job of converting on half of those, and they're actually 2 for 3 converting on fourth downs. But then you look at the other side for St. A's, just 1 for 4 on third down, so that's definitely something that needs to be addressed. Granted, they're not getting to third down as much, but the most telling stat right now is that neither team has been able to get anything going from a rushing perspective, and I think those plays are pretty significant too. I mean, you see twice as many rushing plays, but almost 4 times as many plays in general, just a little bit over 3 times, about 3 1/3 times more plays right now for AIC compared to St. Anselm. So AIC's just, they've had the ball for so much more in terms of just making those small little plays and chunking their way up the field. But then you look at possession time, and St. A's has had the ball for longer, right? So St. A's is fewer plays waiting longer. AIC is more plays going a little bit faster and trying to march up the field. I mean, honestly, unless St. A's figures something out offensively and can find a way to shut down this defense and really just expose them, I like AIC's chances in this game right now. The offense was knocking on the door there, and if you put them in a situation where it's not a 2-minute drill, I think they're in a good spot. Granted, if this does come down to a 2-minute drill at the end of the game, I think I feel a little bit better about, if you're a St. A's fan, you'd much rather be, give them the ball with the 2-minute drill. Sure, fine, whatever. We'll figure out a way defensively. But at the same time, St. A's defensively struggling a little bit to shut down Dietz, right? It felt like every single time he got the ball, he got a huge play on that last drive.
First time this season today that St. A's has allowed more than 10 first downs. You said it, 13 allowed here today to 3 converted for St. A's. And you talk about the time of possession, 15:52. The Hawks have held the ball to AIC's 14:08. And something else that really stands out to me here, Seth, that just looking at the stats right here, 4th down conversions. AIC 2 of 3 so far this afternoon, and
So
only down 14-7 as we go into the second half.
quick correction here before we take a break. The stats that we showed before were off. It's 197 yards for AIC. It's only 97 for St. A's.
Wow.
There was a stat correction because the initial stat line for Croce said
That's
that
right, it
he
said
had
90.
over 100
Yeah.
yards and that his touchdown was a 91-yard touchdown. So when you take that into account, twice as many yards for AIC right now compared to St. A's.
179 to 81 is the receiving yards so far here today. And again, we thought it would be a close game. So far, that is holding true. The Hawks up 14-7 through one half of play. Let's step aside for a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll take a look at the scores from around the NE10. We'll let you know what Assumption's doing. We're keeping a close eye on that game as the Hawks and the Greyhounds battle for the top spot in the conference. 14-7, St. A's with the lead over AIC. Back in just a moment. NE10 football here on Flow Sports. Stay with us.
think the NE10 is probably one of the better Division II conferences.
In this conference, anybody can beat anybody. And every year there's always a handful of upsets. You know, all the coaches are kind of tracking and you'll look and you'll be like, whoa, okay, that changes things.
I love the NE10. Not even just saying that because I'm on camera right now. I actually do really love the NE10.
I'll say this just straight up. We feel like we could beat a lot of Division I schools, especially in in the Northeast. And we'll play them anytime.
We look at all the sports across the landscape, and we have national champions in multiple sports. We have Final Four, teams in multiple sports, and I think every coach in the NE10, especially from a football standpoint, kind of looks at it and says, why not us?
Even internationally, people know it's a very good competition here.
The sky's the limit if you're willing to come in and do the work. If you're a talented athlete and you're willing to work hard and and follow the process, you can do anything. Jordan Davis was the #1 American collegiate thrower of all time, regardless of divisions. He also worked incredibly hard.
In the professional level, like if you're good enough, just like in college, if they're good enough, they'll find you. And I think what we try to do in the football program, and I'm sure like all the other sports, we try to be the best we can be every single day. Our culture is driven. And I think if you put your best foot forward each and every day, those opportunities will present themselves.
If you're determined and you want to do something with your life and you want to be a top sporter, you can do it in the NE10.
Second half just about to get underway here from Grapponi Stadium, Manchester, New Hampshire. St. Anselm Hawks up 14-7 over the AIC Yellow Jackets. Rich Bocchini alongside Seth Hellman. Happy to have you along with us. And we look around at the some of the other scores in the NE10. The big one that we're keeping an eye on, Assumption and Post today. And right now it is Assumption up 63-21. About 25 seconds left in that game. Assumption 3-0, going to move to 4-0 in the conference. St. Anselm 3-1 on the season. So looking to keep pace here, and now knowing what the outcome of that game is going to be, puts the pressure on you a little bit more, Seth, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You already knew essentially that you were going to have to win out as we get the opening kickoff here and a fair catch is called for, but you essentially, if you're the Hawks, you knew that you were going to have to win out to have a chance to end up in first place in the NE10, and you were going to need a lot of help because you already lost your matchup to Assumption. So not only did you need Assumption to lose a game, you realistically, you need them to lose two. And I just realistically don't see that happening. But also, the more important matter is the game at hand right now, which they do not have in the bag.
I doubt they even looked at what that score is,
no.
To be honest with you. You're a tight game like this after, honestly, getting bailed out at the end of the first half on a mistake is the ball handed off and trying to move it up the left side of the field, stopped at the line of scrimmage. AIC was right on the doorstep right there, and the last play of the first half, really the Hawks got bailed out there. They got lucky.
Yeah, absolutely.
See the handoff there and trying to sweep it up the left side of the field to pick up some room was Croce. Didn't lose anything on the play, so 2nd and 10 from the 20-yard line. Check that from the 25-yard line. The other game today, by the way, Pace. Southern Connecticut State. Pace is up 27-7, looking for their first win of the season. Ball handed off, trying to bust it up the middle, gain of about 4 on the play. That was Croce again.
Yeah, nice little counter play there, pick up a chunk of yards, but at some point you got to throw the ball, right? We talked about it earlier, where they don't really have that many yards, but when they did score, they were picking up these huge chunk yards, and you're just not going to get that running the ball. We saw that at their drive at the end of the at the end of the first half, right? They just ran the ball 3 times. They didn't really pick anything up, and then all of a sudden you turn the ball over, on 4th down to punt, right?
The snap, handed off, moved up the right side, and a gain of, we'll call it 5 on the play.
Yeah, I mean, we've got to be missing something here, right? Forkner's got to be hurt. There's no logical reason to me for them to continually run the ball into the middle of this defense, and then they're also not going for it on 4th down either, as you can see the frustration from Croce coming off the field. I mean, it's just, I don't know, like there's nothing dynamic about this offense right now. I'm honestly really confused.
Levin back to receive the punt. Takes it at the 28, trying to find some room, and immediately runs into a blue jersey, if not 2.
Yeah, I mean, if St. A's is going to win this game, it's going to come down to their defense. I mean, we said it in the open, right? It'll be a battle of the defenses and see which offense is able to break through. But, I mean, at this point, it feels a lot less like the battle of the defenses and a little bit more like the battle of which offense is going to be less bad. I mean, the AIC, I'm actually really interested to see what they can do on this drive. You see Dietz in the backfield, and now, can they continue to give him the ball? At some point, it's got to wear down.
Almost right on the money right there. They hand it off to Dietz, who runs it ahead, a gain of about 6 on the play.
Yeah, I mean, that's the big thing, too, here now is, he just picked up a third of their running yards in a single play. So, we have an injury in the secondary for St. A's. The way he's sitting there, I'm hoping that it's just a cramp. He was holding, and he's getting stretched out. So
I was thinking hamstring might have tightened up a little bit.
Yeah, so
and don't have see if we can pick up the license plate on who that is, but that's a relief,
right?
Anyway,
absolutely.
Right? Not an injury.
Might be Weaver. I saw single digits, number 3. Not Weaver. That's Schmidt. So Schmidt made the play that we had talked about at the goal line on that last drive for AIC, and made that jump play, and now he's got to take a couple of plays off here, get stretched out a little bit, and we'll see if he can, hopefully get back on the field. Obviously a veteran presence here, and immediately given a water bottle, so I've got to think that it is some level of a cramp here.
Williams looking, faked it, and brought down. Another sack. That's the 3rd time today.
Yeah, I mean, that is, we talked about it a little bit towards the end of the first half. St. A's is getting a lot of pressure, and it was just that Williams was able to get the ball out quickly enough that the pressure didn't matter. And unfortunately for him, Paganis is able to get there well before he's able to find anyone, and there was really just no one open.
That was the 4th sack of the day, 4th time that Williams has been sacked. The snap, handed off. Up the right side, a gain of 6 or so on the play.
Yep, and that'll bring us 4th down here. I like the idea with the motion across, trying to create some confusion, but just didn't pick up enough after giving up the sack. Unfortunately for them, if they don't give up that sack, they might end up actually getting the 1st down if they had started that play at the same line of scrimmage. And now a little bit of discussion as to whether or not they want to go for it, and it looks like the punting team is out on the field for AIC.
Do like that play, though, Bell sweeping up the left side and the handoff.
Well, we might be in for a fake here. Look at this.
Yeah, it looks like it. The setup. Hosny is back, and they will punt it away.
Just changing up the protection, which honestly they needed to do after the 2 punts that we saw in that first half. The one that resulted in the running into the kicker penalty, and the other one that resulted in the block punt. So changing up the look a little bit at the line of scrimmage, trying to make it a little bit more difficult for St. A's to pressure the punter there, and it worked out as they got the punt off, and a pretty good punt at that, getting them back to about the 34-yard line.
Hosny called for the fair catch. Two receivers to the right of Faulkner. Fake the handoff. Rolling out to the right, now he throws it. Wobbly pass is caught at the 50. Good enough for the first down.
And in just about the longest slow roll of all time, as Kyle, or Variest, is able to get the catch there. A nice play action. So St. A's has spent their last 2 drives running the football up the middle for 1 or 2 yards every single time to set up that one play action pass, take a huge chunk of yards out, and now all of a sudden they find themselves into the opposing territory on the other side of the 50, looking to find their way into the end zone again.
Hand it off, and running up the middle, busting forward, short of the first down, a pickup of about 8 on the play.
And see, this is what finally running the ball, or finally passing the ball, does for you as an offense, right? You've passed the ball. You've shown that now AIC really needs to respect that aspect of your offense, and it opens up your running lanes, and you pick up one of your bigger runs of the day.
It was Anthony Almeida on the carry. 2nd and 3. Hawks leading 14-7. Hand it off again. And Almeida, does he get the first down? I think he did.
Yeah, it looks like he got exactly enough for the first down. The line judge on our side of the field here, marking it just shy of the 35. So another first down here for St. A's, which we haven't really said that very much in today's game, just based on the way they've had the ball and the way they've scored the ball. Granted, one of the times that they scored, they had the ball inside the 10 already anyway, so just not a lot of time and space to operate as an offense, and we'll see what they can do here from the 35.
Another handoff, and again, Almeida stuffed, maybe picked up a yard as he tried to go up the right side of the field.
Yeah, there probably should have been a face mask there on Nevin Earl. Looked like he was about to pull off the helmet there. So maybe a missed call on that one. But, now you've run the ball one too many times. So you'll see, right, Alameda gets hit there, gets stood up, and then you see right there, he's grabbing him right along the side of the helmet. He tries to let go immediately, right? So I guess it wasn't really, he didn't have him by the face mask. He had him by kind of like the ear hole, but still, I mean, he's pulling off the helmet there, so got a little bit lucky.
Another handoff, and a gain of about 4 on the play.
Yeah, I mean, it's once again, you're just you're getting a little bit lucky that you were able to find a bit of a gap and dive through it, right? But at some point, you got to just go for a chunk play. Try to throw the ball. Do something.
Lara Quente on the carry.
Because now, realistically, what you've done for yourself now is, 3rd and 6, empty backfield, right? So they know what you're doing. You're going to throw the ball.
Faulkner looking right over the middle, and it is caught! Big first down! Caught at the 15 by Malachi Jones.
Hey, I mean, it doesn't matter if they know that you're going to throw the ball, if you can zip it in there like that, right? Great catch on the play with a defensive back all over him. Great protection. And you see that literally maybe a football's width of a window to fit that ball into. Good job throwing the ball upfield, giving his wide receiver a chance to catch the ball, and now you're threatening inside the red zone.
Just the 6th first down of the day for the Hawks. They're up 14-7 with 6:15 and rolling here in the third quarter. Forkner takes the snap, hands it off, and stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Laraquente was the ball carrier, and they call it a loss of 1. So 2nd and 11. Various, the receiver to the far left, along with Jaden Haynes. Jones on the right side. Forkner fakes the handoff, rolls out, looks to the right side, wide open. Should be good for the first down. McGurn on the catch.
Yeah, and how about this offensive line, man? I think Forkner was able to go through quite literally every single read possible on that play.
You can almost see him checking him off, right?
Exactly. See, he starts to his left, goes to his right, goes back to the middle, then finds his guy running his little drag route around there, gets themselves inside the 5 here for a 1st and goal.
Again, 2 receivers to the left.
Now Noki in the game here.
Forkner takes the snap, runs it ahead up the right side, stopped at about the 2.
Number 16, Rowan Noak on the carry for the Hawks.
And check that, it was Noak. He had the touchdown earlier. The first touchdown of the game. He was the one that busted it in from close yardage.
Yeah, so we'll see what they do here. I mean, they like to just do that QB direct snap, run it, and it worked out the first drive. So may as well do it again here. It only need 2 yards.
5 rushing touchdowns on the season for Noak. Takes the snap, trying to run it himself again and make that 6 touchdowns on the year for Noak. Touchdown Hawks!
I mean, it's do exactly what you did the first time around, right? Just run it right down their throats, absorb some contact. Don't be afraid of what is going to happen if you run into one of those big white shirts. And I believe I see a flag in the end zone on the far side of the field.
Yeah, there is. Noak back out there. I thought he was heading back out there. Let's see what the call is. They're discussing it. Anything stand out to you? You see anything?
I mean, there was some pushing and shoving after the play. You know, our camera angle was obviously focused in on the scoring, and so he ran in and he 2 fouls. Hang on.
Penalties offset. So we get the extra point attempt here by the Hawks.
So it looks like it's Patrick Yasinko getting an unsportsmanlike conduct here for St. A's. And I think Marquise Lundy is going to be the one that gets it for AIC. So offsetting penalties here, go for the extra point.
Carnieri is, whoa, that's good. Wow, barely. Looked like it was blocked on the way, but it just had enough to topple end over end, literally right over the crossbar.
It hit the crossbar. It bounced on top of it.
It might have been helped along by the crossbar.
Yeah, that was something. That's for sure.
21-7, Hawks with the lead here in the third quarter. We'll take a quick timeout. Back in just a moment. NE10 football here on Flow Sports. St. Anselm leading AIC 21-7 here in the third. They're at Grapponi Stadium in Manchester, New Hampshire. Big touchdown there, in my opinion, Seth, for a team that nearly gave up a tying touchdown at the end of the first half. Was in danger of that as we get the kickoff here, and immediately stuffed on the play. We get some pushes and shoves here. And
yeah, some more extracurriculars here. I mean, yeah, it was an absolutely crucial score there for the Hawks after the offense really seemed like it was sputtering. And so that was, it was a much-needed score, get themselves up by 2, and you get the replay here. And it's just, hey, you know what, let's follow these big bodies in front of me. They know what they're doing, and then absorb a hit or two, roll my way into the end zone, pick up my second touchdown of the day. And St. A's now hits about their average in terms of scoring, and so in doing that, they also wipe out a pretty large chunk of the third quarter. And we'll see what AIC decides to do here. They probably need to start hustling.
Williams holding, under pressure, and sacked again. 5th time today that Williams has been brought down.
Yeah, I mean, just nowhere to go with the ball. It's just been great coverage pretty much all day long for St. A's. There just hasn't been anywhere for Williams to go with the ball. It's been a lot different than that last drive at the end of the first half where he was under pressure, but he was able to absorb some hits to make some throws, whereas now there's no throw to be made, so he's got to just take the hit.
Two receivers to the right of Williams. Nearly sacked again. Fires a bomb long downfield, incomplete.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one there for AIC. They definitely had a receiver get behind his DB. It was LaFrance on the target there. And, I mean, the crazy thing about that play, too, is St. A's went with a 3-man front, and they still had pressure. They had 2 guys that hit Williams as and right after he threw the ball. So it doesn't really matter what St. A's does from a defensive line standpoint. They can show 3, they can show 4, they can blitz, they can not blitz. It really doesn't make a difference right now. They're getting to the quarterback.
3 options to the right of Williams. He takes the snap, looks, holding, looking, under pressure again, right over the middle. Caught, and it'll be short of the first down. Fatir Bell, check that, LaFrance on the reception.
Yeah, I don't know. Part of me wants to go for it here, but at the same time, fourth and 6 right now is a lot. So it looks like they're going for it, which I think is a good decision.
They might as well.
But they're subbing in a new O-lineman, and right now they look weak on the outside. These tackles are not doing a good enough job on these DNs, and they're just getting beat.
Looks like it's Dietz. Well, Dietz lining up behind Williams. And Williams finds Dietz on the reception, but not enough for the first down. Big stop for St. Anselm, and they take it over on downs.
Yeah, it's a huge play from the D-line. They show their normal formation. They haven't blitzed on the drive at all, and then they send guys right up the middle to the point where they've been backed up so far that when Dietz actually gets this ball, he catches it right around the line of scrimmage, barely gets past it, maybe picks up a yard, and a fantastic tackle in open space there for St. A's. That's Silsby on the tackle there, getting Dietz to the ground immediately. And so you're also shutting down what makes Dietz so great, and it's his ability to get around defenders in the open field.
Hawks have the ball on the AIC 48. The snap handed off. Run ahead and finding room up the left side of the field all the way and knocked out of bounds at the 20. My goodness, what a run by Croce.
And see, they mix up the look. They bounce it to the outside instead of going up to the middle like they have been. And all of a sudden, they pick up a huge chunk play. And they all, look at all of those linebackers. Every single guy at the second level bit on the fake, respecting Faulkner's ability to run the ball, and that leaves a wide open opportunity for Croce here.
29 yards on the run. Croce, 6 carries, 35 yards this afternoon. Play clock winding down. Faulkner gets the snap. Handed off again to Croce, who busted ahead, picked up 4 yards or so on the play.
Yeah, maybe just shy of 5 there, and yeah,
Wilson on the stop, and
I think got spotted a little bit short there.
Yeah.
I think he only picked up 3. It looked to me like he picked up 4 or 5 there, but I guess not. 2nd and 7 now, and yeah. So I mean, it's an interesting spot here, right? Like, you're finally getting the running to work. Is this the time that you change things up and throw the ball?
Two receivers to Faulkner's right. Fakes the handoff, throws to his left, and incomplete. Intended for Veriest.
I'm not quite on Tony Romo's level, but I'll accept a contract if CBS sends me one. The one time that I actually accurately predict what's going to happen, and they nearly get the touchdown on it. Just a little bit too strong there on the pass. Had the open receiver there. So, I mean, like I said, is this the time that you pass it? I mean, I obviously felt like it was the time, and I like the play call, and now you're going empty backfield. So maybe you throw it again here on 3rd down. Maybe they decide to move Croce from the far side. Let's see.
Faulkner under pressure, runs it ahead, finds a hole, busts it forward, and taken down just short of the goal line.
And you see there exactly why a couple of plays back, all of the linebackers bit on the fake from Faulkner, even though he hasn't really run the ball today, because you see his ability there, gets out from the pressure in the pocket, and then shows off the legs, almost gets it in the end zone. And he's actually going to stay out there in this goal line formation instead of subbing out.
14 yards on the play for the first down. I think they'll let the quarter expire. Yeah. They'll let the time tick down. So Faulkner, 2 runs today, total of 14 yards. We have 3 quarters in the books here with St. Anselm leading 21-7. And again, as we mentioned, a big win considering some of the outcomes around the league. The big victory by Assumption, who now moves to 4 wins in the conference. So the 4th quarter coming up. We're going to take a timeout. The action continues here in just a moment. NE10 football here on Flow Sports. Stay with us. Fourth quarter set to get underway here. St. Anselm knocking on the door. Noak trying to bust ahead for his 3rd rushing touchdown of the day. Did he get in?
I don't think they're going to give it to him. Neither one of the linesmen is signaling that they made it in. And, yeah, it looks like the ball is even already placed just a little bit short of the goal line there. Get the replay, going right up the middle, trying to follow some of those big bodies, and he got close, but I think he might have landed just short. Tried to reach the ball over while he was on the ground here, so it'll be 2nd and inches here.
Chance to really put the nail in the coffin. Busted ahead and into the end zone. Touchdown. Faulkner this time.
Yeah, and I mean, it's great awareness there from the veteran quarterback there, the junior. I mean, you see he kind of, well, I mean, we'll see it on the replay here. Fumbles the snap a little bit. Didn't quite get the initial push right there that they wanted, right? And so he gets caught up, decides, you know what, I'm going to bounce this one around the outside, and gets in there virtually uncontested.
We're talking about as the extra point.
No good.
No good. Wow.
Wide right.
Assumption today, 63-27 winners over Post. So Assumption now 4-1 on top of the conference. Post drops to 3-2. Makes the outcome of this game that much more important. And as you mentioned before, Assumption has the tiebreaker against St. Anselm this year.
Yeah, I mean, also the thing that we haven't talked about is if Post won that one, right, they would have been 4-1, which would have required St. A's to win this one. So it's still helpful for St. A's to keep them ahead of Post, but you'd also, you want to be trying to catch up to Assumption right now if you're St. A's. Then the other matchup a little bit less impactful at the moment here.
The other game today has Pace and Southern Connecticut State going at it. Pace up 33-21. They had a 21-0 lead early on. And Pace looking for their first win of the season, 0-7. Southern Connecticut 1-4. Kickoff here in the fourth quarter. Yellow Jackets moving it ahead up the left side and knocked out of bounds at about the 45-yard line.
Number 82,
Perez on the carry. Haven't seen Arthur return. Number 88. Oh, no, he's back out there now. Okay. It's good to see. Hadn't seen him out there. Went off a little bit earlier after getting banged up. (27-7) after the missed extra point. The Hawks leading. Snapping a handoff, busted up the middle. A gain of, we'll call it 8 on the play. More pushes and shoves at the whistle. And AIC not wasting any time here.
No, and they can't afford to either, down 3 scores.
The snap, handed off again. Up the middle, and let's see if it's good enough for the first down. Smith on the carry.
Line judges are marking him short.
So 3rd and about a yard or so. Got a 3rd and 3 up on the scoreboard, but looks a little shorter from our vantage point, nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, he's literally going to set up here and move the ball, and it'll be a cross, but
Williams takes the snap, hands it off. No, yeah, he does. Okay, up the left side, and I'm surprised he didn't just quarterback sneak that.
Yeah, I mean, I understand this not necessarily doing the QB sneak because sometimes you just don't want to put that kind of pressure physically on your quarterback, but I also agree with the idea of just running it up the middle, or maybe, we've seen them have some success with counter plays. They're pushing the whole D-line to the left side. Why not try to cut it back and go up the right side to pick up that yard, and now you've got 4th and 2, and you really need it.
Lost about a yard on that last play. Incomplete on the 4th down attempt.
Yeah,
and I mean, St. A's, the defense coming up big again.
Just absolutely nowhere to go with the football. St. A's brought everyone in the all-out blitz there. All 3 linebackers came flying in, and that pass actually got deflected as well by one of those blitzing linebackers. So, I mean, you're under pressure. You've only got 5 offensive linemen, right? So they can only block so many guys, and they went with the all-out cover 0 blitz, and worked out for him.
Hawks offense takes over at the 48-yard line. Handed off. Juking his way forward, a gain of 7 on the play or so. Laraquente will get the Hawks. And a gain of 6 to the 45-yard line.
Yeah, and we've entered game maintenance mode here for the Hawks. You know, you're putting in a guy who hasn't really run the ball at all today. I don't expect to see Croce in this game at all. I wouldn't expect to see Alameda in this game either. So you're just at a point where it's, hey, let's not turn the ball over. Let's run as much of this clock as possible. And if we score, we score.
Leading by 20 here in the fourth. Faulkner throws a bomb. Caught at the 10! Wow! Big catch there!
I like how every single time I think I know what the St. A's coaching staff's going to do, they throw up something like that. Various.
39 yards on the reception. What a bomb!
It's just absolutely ridiculous.
And we talked earlier how the Hawks really weren't throwing the ball much.
No, I mean, they haven't been very much at all. And you know who we haven't seen basically at all this game, but now you see him there in the huddle before we get this replay is Domingo Meade. After getting 3 straight NE10 Rookie of the Week awards, I don't think he's been targeted today.
Faulkner trying to move it himself and got rocked at the 6-yard line. Looks like he's okay.
Yeah, that's one of those where it's, you know, again, it goes back to what I was saying before the chunk play, right? You know, you're in a spot where now you're bringing in Croce. Like, you've got these starters, these great players in a game that you're in control of. Why not just run the ball with a backup, right? Someone who you trust to not fumble and just run out some clock. Let's not put our quarterback in a position here where he went down kind of awkwardly on that last play.
Faulkner hands it off, and stuffed on the play was Croce.
And he's starting to show his frustration. And I mean, look, you're in a position here where realistically you are up against a team that hasn't won a game this year. But also, if you even get a field goal on this drive, you're going to hit the average of what their opponents usually score against them. So I get the, you know, they want to score every single drive. But at the same time, when you look at this as a full picture, I'd say that they're performing just as well as they need to be right now.
Faulkner takes the snap, immediately lets it go.
Yeah, we got a flag on the far side of the end zone, though.
That was intended for Jones. And see what the call is.
And based on the confused looks in the secondary, I have to imagine that we're getting either a defensive hold or a defensive pass interference here.
Officials will discuss it. Just wanted to mention real quick, Croce, the sophomore running back, now in St. Anselm's top 10 list for career rushing yards. And
in year number 2.
Year number 2. 8 career rushing touchdowns, ranked 10th all-time coming into the season.
Oh,
wow.
Offensive pass interference. Penalties declined 4th down. How about that? Let's see. Oh, yeah, so they ran that pick play. So my brain kind of went there initially anyway, but think back a little bit to 2014 Super Bowl. Well, I guess technically 2015, but 2014 season.
You can remember that far back?
Okay, well, I'm a little bit, whatever. It was a very formative moment in my lifetime, as we'll get to this after. St. A's field goal first, then we'll get to this.
The kick is up and blocked, and that is a live ball. Who gets it? Still loose. Yellow Jackets recover at the 15.
Yeah, so it didn't really matter who recovered that one. Once it was blocked, and it was going to be a turnover on downs anyway. But, yeah, so going back to that Super Bowl, right, everyone remembers the Malcolm Butler interception. Well, the play that they ran was a pick play, right, where you have two wide receivers on the right side. The inside receiver kind of runs an out route and runs into the guy that is covering the other receiver on the right side. He tries to cut middle, and so in practice, right, Malcolm Butler is struggling against this play, right, and he recognizes it in the Super Bowl back against the wall, and he jumps the play and gets the interception, right? Well, the problem with the pick play is that it's only legal within a certain yardage of the line of scrimmage. So if you get too far out from the line of scrimmage, it becomes a penalty and it becomes pass interference. And so that's exactly what happened there. The pick play on the inside happened too far away from the line of scrimmage, and he got in the way. You can't just run out and block the DB. And so that's what happened there, and that's what the penalty was.
Williams faked the handoff, throws a long spiral. Oh, incomplete. That was intended for the number 0, Fatir Bell. Single coverage, but couldn't come up with it.
That's great coverage there. I mean, you had the opportunity. You put the ball in pretty much the right spot, just maybe a little bit overthrown. You finally had some time, though he was even under pressure. You could see at the last second there. And then just a really good job to play the ball there by the defensive back to make the play. I believe that was Connor LeBrun, the sophomore defensive back is he from Andover? Looks like he is. Andover, Massachusetts. How about that?
Williams over the middle. That's caught. Flag on the play. Still up, trying to move ahead out to midfield, and a break here. Gone. Headed down to the end zone. Let's see if it comes back with the flag, Seth.
Yeah, I didn't see exactly what the play was, but based on what the offensive linemen are doing, so Perez there potentially on the touchdown, but none of the offensive linemen are going down the field. One of them did something incorrect, and you can see once again a livid coaching staff on the other side from AIC, and this one is going to come all the way back.
Andres Perez. Nice job to stay on his feet, but
yeah, holding on the offense.
Well, that's how he was able to stay on his feet, apparently. And, boy, he is beat red.
Yeah.
Dan Chipka, my goodness.
I mean, it's been a tough day for him.
Oh, it has, yeah. I mean, it can't be fun to be winless. You know that.
Right.
It's got to be frustrating. It's going to be disheartening.
They've had a couple of questionable calls happen in this game, for sure.
And they were right in this game, too.
Yeah.
By the way, you're talking about that Super Bowl back. I don't remember what time I got up today. I don't know how you remembered that play, like exactly what happened in what sequence.
It is one of the few sporting memories that I can remember very clearly, as you see the short gain there on the pass. I didn't grow up a Sox fan, and I didn't really become a big Bruins fan until after they won the Cup, and we have a guy down as well on that hit. I think that was.
And I can't see.
I think that was Jason Levin.
Was it okay? I can't. Well, let's take a look here.
Yeah, number 4, Jason Levin went down. The senior.
He got taken down by the legs, and then a hit came in at the last second up high as he was going down. Hit him up by the chest, or might have got him in the head. But it looks like the trainer is focused on the left ankle.
Yeah, let's see. He's getting up here, and he's got to be helped off the field, so probably a lower body injury. I mean, he's not putting any weight down on anything. He's definitely keeping that left leg up higher than the right one, and it looks like he's maybe putting a little bit of weight on that right leg. So, yeah, definitely a left side injury there. So, unfortunate for him, and in his senior season, hopefully it's not too serious. Hopefully he just rolled it a little bit, and he can come back, if not in this game, at some point before the season's over.
8:48 to go here in the fourth. St. Anselm leading American International 27-7. 3rd and 3 for the Yellow Jackets. Williams again under pressure. runs it himself up the right side, avoided a tackle, and gets it out of bounds. Did he get the first down? It looks like he did.
He somehow fell over on his way through as well. I was paying attention to a different part of the play. We had a couple of guys tied up in the secondary. There's a lot of chirping going back and forth between these two teams, as we've already discussed a little bit. And you see
is that a football term, chirping?
I think it's
right. It's a hockey term, right? And I'm not putting you on the spot here. I don't know if it carries. I'm a hockey guy too. I don't know if it carries over to football. Trash talk? Is it trash talk in football?
Chirping's chirping.
No, chirping's fair enough.
It's all the same.
I mean, inquiring minds want to know. Ball handed off and a gain of about 3 on the play, on the run.
Number 8, Connor Dietz on the carry.
Dietz, who's been he's been solid.
Yeah, he's been
really impressive.
It's just a matter of actually getting him the ball, right? And
6 catches, 63 yards for Dietz, 6 carries, 35 yards. So a dual threat. Meanwhile, Williams 25 of 39 passing for 191 yards, but he's been sacked 5 times. Dietz to the right of Williams. Williams takes the snap, under pressure, trying to run it ahead, and let's see, tackled, looks like just ahead of the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, so not quite going to get a sack there. And while we were on the topic of Dietz, it's nice to see as we get the replay of the sack here. So a nice spin move on the outside, and then once again, it's just the tackles that are having issues right now for this offensive line.
They're ruling that a sack.
Yeah, okay.
6th time today.
I mean, it can't really be a sack if he gains yards, but
yeah, it looks like from here, it looks like the ball's like, I don't know, half a foot over the line of scrimmage, but nonetheless, 27-7, St. A's leading. It's 3rd and 9 for the Yellow Jackets.
Pass got deflected at the defensive line. I mean, yeah, there's only so much you can do when it's a 4-man rush and you're just getting blown back. I mean, I think that, he got pushed back so far. I mean, the offensive line got pushed back so far from the original line of scrimmage. It's so hard to make progress as an offense when you're getting sent back that far. And now, once again, you see AIC kind of changing up the formation here, changing up the blocking, seeing if this works. And it almost didn't. That punt drops over at the 40. And touched up there. It was a weird, I don't know why a St. A's guy came running through there. Usually when I was playing, they taught us once that ball lands, get the heck out of the way. You don't want to get shoved into it and have that become a live ball. But St. A's will take back over here. Faulkner still coming out, so even though they're up by 20 with 6 minutes to go, still keeping in the starters here. And Alameda, who gets a lot of work in the backfield, is out there right now instead of Croce.
Late in the game here, and a 20-point advantage for St. A's. Hand it off to Almeida, who gets stuffed, maybe picked up a yard on the play. Taking a look at some of the defensive numbers here today, Seth. Paganis, 3 sacks. Rotelli has 1. Hoffman has 1. And from the 42-yard line, the snap handed off again to Almeida. And I think the strategy here is hand it off, run it ahead, and kill the clock.
Yeah, I mean, I said that was going to be the strategy before as well, and then they chucked it 40 yards down the field, right? So, That's what logic dictates, is that you run the ball out here and you run out the rest of the clock. 3rd and 5, though, right? So you might need to try to pass it to pick up the first down here. But also, at the same time, it's like, I don't know, maybe you run it, see if you can pick up a chunky yards, and then if it's 4th and 1, you go for it. But we'll see. It's also Faulkner's out.
And Noak is the quarterback and immediately sacked.
Yeah, nowhere to go with the ball there, just immediately under pressure, and here comes the punt unit. So St. A's doesn't run that much time off the clock, but at the same time, AIC is not going to be aggressive with the timeout. So, yeah, you see, I mean,
DeSalvo
4
on the
white bodies.
DeSalvo on the sack. A loss of 4 on the play.
Yeah, so we'll get it under 3 minutes here, and then AIC will try to make a run. I mean, the offense has sputtered for AIC in this half, and that's going to be the offense obviously couldn't back up the defense. The defense kept them in this game for as long as possible, but
heavy hit brought down by 3, if not 4 players. I almost wonder if strategy-wise, the Hawks kind of played that run game to kind of almost lull AIC in to think, okay, this is what's going to happen, and then the second half just completely turn it around?
Yeah,
open it up?
Obviously, they had that big play action pass, but at the same time, I'm not really a big fan of, let's play a game of running the ball to end the first half in a 1-score game.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just predict what's going to happen in the second half. So I think they just felt, for whatever reason, as though the pass game wasn't there and that it was safer to run the ball and see if they could break something open, which obviously didn't happen.
Backup quarterback is in for AIC.
Yeah, so both teams have entered this, this mode of, hey, let's give some of these younger guys some reps here.
It's Lucas Casco, 6'2", 185 graduate student.
He's not a younger guy. He's a graduate student.
Yep. Out of Brooklyn, New York.
That's where my mother's from.
Casco hands it off. No. Has it. Throws up the left side. It's caught. And good enough for a first down. My wife lived in Brooklyn for a while. So there you go.
So it shows you the effectiveness of the play action there, right? You thought it was going to be a handoff, and all of a sudden it's a pass, and does a good job, runs with his receiver there, gets it to him, wide open out in the flat, able to pick up a nice little chunky yardage there.
You ever spend any time in Brooklyn? I enjoy Brooklyn.
Not a lot. I've just never had a need, I guess, to go to Brooklyn. I've been to some parts of Brooklyn, but a couple of small weekend trips, but.
Ball handed off, and run ahead, a gain of 5 or so on the play. Go see a Brooklyn Cyclones game. Great ballpark.
I've been, actually.
Yeah.
I have been to it. We went for the Seinfeld bobblehead giveaway last year or the year before. Usually when I'm going to that area, we're going to Queens because we're Mets fans, and so
same. Yeah.
Generally speaking, going to Queens, and then my grandmother lives further out on the island, so generally going out there. But I do know some people who live in that Brooklyn area. 2-minute timeout.
27-7, the Hawks with the lead. Let's just keep it right here. Look at the numbers today. Faulkner, we talked about the passing, 9 of 14 passing. A touchdown. Williams, 25 of 40, 191 yards, and now Casco in there. But a tough day for the quarterbacks. Williams sacked 6 times.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's really tough to get something going when, even when he's not getting sacked, he's under pressure. As the game went on, his tackles really failed him. They did a decent job of protecting up the middle. It seems like every single play a D-end was kind of in the area to pressure, and they themselves, right, they only got 2 sacks on the other side. And we mentioned earlier, the one loss in conference this year for St. A's, they gave up 6 sacks, and in all of their wins, it's been 3 or 2. And so they did a great job today of protecting Faulkner, giving him time to make plays, but also protecting him by running the ball, a lot, which obviously impacts their ability to get a sack because you can't get a sack on a running play. But a great job by both the defensive and offensive line today from St. A's, and back to the drawing board for AIC as there's another sack here.
7th on the day.
For the St. A's defensive line.
I was counting just before this, they had 11 quarterback hurries prior to that play. And now, the 7th sack of the game for the Hawks.
Yeah, Lorenzo Neves picks it up there, the freshman.
2nd and 15 from the 46. With a little more than a minute to play. Casco looks to his left, sidearms it. A gain of about 2 on the play.
Yeah, nice job there from St. A's. You give up a bit of a chunk, but you're also doing a good job of swarming once that ball is out, and not quite hurry up, but also not a real huddle either for AIC.
You know, Casco just wants to get in the end zone so bad right now. Looks to his left, and it's caught. Good for the first down and out of bounds. And stop the clock.
Yeah, another good chunk play there. I mean, they're moving a little bit, right? And, there's some part of you says, it's the end of the game. We know the game's over. Maybe the defense is taking a load off. I don't think that's the case, right? I think they're just adjusting to different looks, a different style of play with a new quarterback who maybe they don't have very much film on, and so you're getting a little bit far back, and you're getting some nice routes be run by these receivers and into maybe a little bit of soft coverage, but we'll see if they change things up here.
Casco again looks left. Soft pass caught, and busting ahead, able to break through into the end zone. Touchdown, AIC. Perez ran it ahead, and is it me, or did everybody just seem like they kind of stopped?
Yeah, it felt very odd. I mean, obviously it's tough to have a big celebration of a touchdown at the, at the end of a game here where, you've lost, you've been beaten up for a full game, and so you still should be happy and celebrate, but at the same time, for Perez, he probably feels like he should have just scored a touchdown to make this a 27-21 game, because remember, he had that huge chunk play earlier that got called back on the holding, and so that could have been a much different touchdown here for AIC after that play got called back earlier, and then you can really take it back to 2 drives right now for AIC. So say you don't have the issues at the end of the first half, right? You're pretty much at the goal line. If you score there, it's tie game going into the second half here, and then say you don't have that hold on the huge chunk play for Perez. Granted, St. A's offensively is going to do something different in response, whereas, last St. A's drive, they didn't exactly push the ball down the field with a lot of aggressiveness, right? But, say that one play at the end of the first half and that one play here in the second half goes a different way, all of a sudden they haven't missed an extra point yet. Say they hit those extra points, they're winning this game 28-27. So I think there's a lot to be happy about on the AIC sideline potentially, but it's tough to say that at the end of the season, right? If you keep on having these games where you're not really out of it and you can keep saying, oh, well, if one play goes this way, or, if, right? If is the big word there. Mm-hmm. And so if you keep on doing this, maybe you're just at a point where you have to resign yourself to the fact that maybe you're just not a good enough football team. And it sucks to have to say that, but when you've lost this many games and you continue to lose close games, at some point it can't just be, oh, well, we needed one play to go the other way. Oh, well, we had these arguments with the referees about certain calls. At some point, you just need to be good enough that those plays don't matter. You know, obviously everyone loves to complain about refereeing, but at the end of the day, it's your job to score enough points that whatever the referees do don't matter. You know, you can't have a referee decide a game if you're winning 40-7. And so there are definitely things that you can look at in this game and be proud of if you're AIC, but at the end of the day, it wasn't enough. And then if you're St. A's on the other side, look, you pick up a win, you were leading for the entire game. There wasn't really a point that AIC was in it. There was a point there at the end of the first half as the clock's going to run out now on this game where we felt like AIC might find a way into this game to make it competitive. But, you know, if you're St. A's, you got great pressure from a defensive standpoint, and really your takeaway from this game just needs to be, hey, we got to clean some stuff up offensively right now and be a little bit stronger on the offensive side of the ball, because being able to, once things get later in the season, you really need to have a more well-rounded offense and be able to have success not just in running the ball, but in passing the ball as well. And the run game today was definitely not up to the standard that St. A's should be happy with, and is not up to a standard that's going to help them continue to have success.
St. A's now with their first 4-game winning streak since the 2022 season. The Hawks improved to 5-2, 4-1 in the NE10. American International 0-6 on the season, 0-4 in the conference. 27-14 the final. We'll take you through some of the scoring and some of the highlights here in just a second. Let's just take a look at the final numbers here anyway. And offensively, it was Williams 25 of 40 passing, 191 yards for American International, but really the telling number, Seth, 6 sacks. Casco got sacked once. St. A's 7 sacks defensively today, 11, 12, maybe 13 quarterback hurries. That's something that you pointed out at the beginning. The defense was going to be a big part of this game. If AIC could find a way to break through the St. Anselm defense, then maybe they had a shot, but that's not what happened.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just a fantastic day overall defensively for St. A's. It was just relentless pressure, right? I've said it a lot of times here. Paganis with his 3 sacks. The last time a St. Anselm player had 3 sacks was Kyril Jondu at Merrimack on October 4th, 2014. So for the first time in over 10 years, St. A's has an individual player get 3 or more sacks. So just a fantastic day at the office for this defense. I believe the record for the most sacks in an individual game for an individual player was 4.5. Casey Larson against Assumption in 05. So, yeah, I mean, really an all-time performance from him today. And just in general, this defense, they did a great job of mixing up looks, whether it was a 3-man front or a 4-man front. Didn't really matter. They were able to get to the quarterback.
27-14 the final. St. Anselm over American International. That's going to do it here from Grapponi Stadium in Manchester, New Hampshire. My thanks to our entire crew. Emily, our producer, Justin, the camera crew, and for Seth Hellman. Enjoyed working with you here this afternoon. I'm Rich Bocchini saying so long from Manchester. Once again, the final score for the final time is the St. Anselm Hawks 27 and the AIC Yellow Jackets 14. You've been watching NE10 Now Football, Flow Sports. Again, 27-14, your final. St. A's gets the win.